Sports Radio America, and I think we do have a large delegation here. The Voice, Jim Tyree, is our Director of Live Broadcasting, and we are very excited to be here. We're very excited to partner with the ABA for the next few seasons, hopefully for longer than that. Let me just introduce Sports Radio America for those who aren't familiar with it. We are a radio station where our presence is online. And so instead of being confined by terrestrial radio stations where if you're driving and you leave the area and you lose it, you can listen to us anywhere if you have a phone or computer. We are on Live 365, we're on TuneIn, we're on iTunes Radio. So there are a variety of ways to find us. You can also go to our website, sportsradioamerica.com, and click on a link if you'd like to listen to us that way. And so we're very excited to be working with you. What we're going to be doing this year is broadcasting a game of the week. And so we'll determine what that game is, and we're going to have a game of the week where we're going to broadcast live play-by-play for that. And so it's a great opportunity for people all across the country and the world, because we have not only a domestic listenership, we have a very large international listenership as well. We have a lot of military bases. People abroad like to listen to us. A lot of people in China, a lot of you know, China has a huge appetite for basketball. So this is a great way for us to expand, not just domestically, but internationally as well. And so we'll be broadcasting this game of the week. We're excited about the buzz that we're already getting. We released a press release about a month or so ago. Got a great response for that. So people are eager, and they want to hear from you, and they want to hear about the ABA. So I would just encourage you to make sure that you're available, make sure that the websites are updated, because people are interested in this and they want to know what's going on. If you're interested in Sports Radio America, like I said, visit our website. We'll give you a taste of what we do. This afternoon we're going to have a live broadcast with the Bax and Grant Sports Show. They'll be out in the lobby, so you can definitely see what we do and get a taste of what we do. We'll also have our sports writers, Stephen Patrick and our other sports writers, out interviewing some of you, and that will be available on our website as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask any of us. We're happy to answer. Our home office is in Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville?
Yes. We are based out of Louisville.
What would we determine which game would you guys?
You stand up so we all hear. What? Thank you.
What would we determine the game of the week that you guys will be, broadcasting? I mean, we got teams all the way up.
Quarterback games.
Yeah,
Yes.
Washington all the way down to, Louisiana, so Texas. So I'm just asking.
Well, we have broadcasters all over. Like our team, we have in Louisville, we're in Tampa, we're in the Midwest, we're in Wisconsin. So we have broadcast teams all over. So we're not just based out of Louisville. That's our home office, but we have broadcast teams in a variety of different locations. So the game of the week will be determined. We'll work with the executive committee to broadcast the most popular games, basically. We want to broadcast the games that are going to have high attendance that people want to hear.
How many games you want to do this year?
We're planning on approximately 20 to 25 games into the playoffs. Any other questions?
Are y'all going to be holding podcast and transmitting that way, or is it just going to be a live feed coming
It's
out?
going to be a live feed. We are still working with iTunes to actually get a true podcast. We're available on iTunes Radio, but we don't have a true podcast yet, so we are still working on that.
Just to go along with that question too that you had, because of the Bax and Grant Sports Show and our partnership with Sports Radio America, we will be featuring exclusive ABA coverage in terms of having weekly players and coaches on the show. So for that way, we'll be only one of the few entities in the entire U.S. that will be featuring ABA content, because we believe in the mission of what you guys are doing, and we want to be able to get your message out and get the recognition that players, coaches, owners all deserve for the hard work that you guys put in. So that'll be one major way to have that podcast aspect of it, as well as the broadcasting.
And Tia, just a couple other notes for the owners. One thing I will remind you guys to at least tune into is the internet Wi-Fi situations in your venues. See if you can get a handle on that. That will affect some of the games that we'll be doing. If we get good signals or access to signals, that's a big plus for us. And one other small note, if you are approached as an owner by somebody who's interested, that has some experience of being an air talent to do the games, that's already in your market, we're very interested in talking. So you can get my contact information from Joe, he has it, or the website, either one. Sports Radio America, very easy.
Again, our website is sportsradioamerica.com, and see me if you have any other questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm really excited about this. As you know, before I got back into the ABA in 2000, I owned 16 radio stations around the country. So my background is very heavily broadcasting. And I've seen a shift from conventional radio, originally the AM radio, and then FM, and then FM stereo. And then all of a sudden, what is coming through the internet and these advanced mobile devices has replaced so many sources of audio that it's really exciting. And to know that I have two good friends who are avid shareholders in the ABA, but they love the ABA with a passion, from Norway, that they can listen to ABA games is very exciting. We have ABA Global, which is based in the Philippines, and we're televising around the world now our games that are supplied to ABA Global. But it's nice to know that Paul Manzaka will be able to listen to the ABA games in the Philippines. We have so many friends in Mexico and so many friends in Canada, a couple of Canadian teams, and the idea that they can listen to ABA games is just terrific. And you know how much I press for you all to send out press releases. Well, Sports Radio America sent out a press release, and the coverage across the United States was absolutely amazing to me. And the press and media picked it up, partly because of Sports Radio America, partly because we're the American Basketball Association, and it was important news. And that's why it appeared in New York and Chicago and Detroit and Dallas and Houston and Atlanta, and we got tremendous publicity. So we're honored that so many of the people from Sports Radio America came today, and the commitment that they're making to it. And the same thing goes with what will be coming of our television. And when Michael gets his program going, and maybe in a little while later we'll have an opportunity to see a little bit about what he has and the others that we have, we are going to have a good presence in the media this year. I want to tell you, at lunch, at noon, we're going to have a pretty big lunch here with ribs and chicken and a myriad of other things that bring it in. So if you're starving to death, just hang on to 2.5 hours. I expected 72 people. I think we have less than 72. So those of you who came by car, we're going to get some doggy bags that you can take. So if you're going back to wherever you're going, to Michigan or North Carolina by car, but we hope to not have any food left after we have lunch. When we say the ABA is more than just a game, we usually think in terms of what we do for our communities, and that's a lot when you add up all that the ABA teams do nationwide. More than just a game can have many meanings, and that includes game day experience for our fans. They come for exciting, fast-paced basketball, and we certainly give them that and much more. For $10 or $5 for kids, there is nothing that matches the ABA and an ABA evening of basketball. But it can be even more. And that's why I hooked up with Tawan Benefactor Washington, who is a nationally known rapper, hoping to ascend. Maybe he should be more of a gangster rapper, but he's a rapper. Oh, does he? All right. And he's the owner of the Steel City Yellow Jackets, and he has a terrific national reputation. When I came back in March, Tawan and I created ABA Media and Entertainment with the idea of exploring a variety of entertainment opportunities. So he really took the ball and he ran with it. But as I mentioned, he first went out to Colorado for an ABA event, then to Florida, Miami this past week, and was afflicted either with exhaustion or sunstroke. So he was unable to be here today, but DePaula Ross, who is the owner of the Memphis Lions, has been working closely with him, and she brought his notes. And so what I like to do, if DePaula would just take a couple of minutes and come on up and explain some of the things that's going on with ABA Entertainment. So, come on up. She also owns her second team. I originally thought, team owners it could be like Subway, and we could have quite a few different teams. But she just put a second team in Tennessee, and we added a third team in Tennessee, so we now have 3 teams down there and easy to reach from the south, from Mississippi and from Alabama, and from the north, West Virginia and Kentucky, going south. So we've really filled in that hole. So do you know how to operate that? Okay. She's a computer whiz. She does online training, and we're talking about. I'm going to show you. You know how I always talk about sales training and stuff. Well, I've trained over 10,000 salespeople. That's what I did do, and that's my sort of avocation, doing sales training. So I brought over a video that I had spent a lot of money on a few years ago, and I'm going to put that on in a little while so you can get an idea of really what sales training is, because I will tell you, if you struggle with sponsorships, or you struggle with ticket sales, or struggle with getting any community organizations involved with you, if you will follow the people first selling techniques, very simple techniques, you will not have any problems with any of it, and I'll show you some of that in a few minutes. But in the meantime, Paula, are you ready?
Well, come on, you can't. Just 60 seconds. We're very advanced here.
We're trying to, move quickly because there's several people that have to catch earlier planes, and so we want to make sure that we get the heart and soul of the meeting in as much before lunch, even though we have a full day stuff. So we're rolling along. You all met when you came in. You met my daughter Susie, who has been an integral part of my life for all of her life. And she's my favorite child. She is, everybody that's interfaced with Susie through the years just knows that she is a tremendous person and just a very giving woman. And so I don't know that I can have these meetings and operate without Susie, so I'm really thrilled that she can come over today. Susie runs a variety of businesses, but she's also co-owner of the Indy Naptown All-Stars, an ABA team. And you didn't get a chance to meet Kevin Jones, her co-owner and principal owner of the team, but he's here from the Indy Naptown All-Stars too.
He's on the back anyway.
Are you all ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, so this is Twan's presentation, so I know some of the stuff, and so if you have additional questions, my sister will write those questions down if Joe can't answer them, and then we'll make sure that we get the information back to you, okay? Okay, so his key points were, we currently have about 60 games in the ABA and approximately 50 to 55 games that we play in North America every weekend from the time frame of October to mid-April. So there are 3 refs or officials on the court at every game league-wide. In the 2015 and 2016 season, we will have about 40 regular season games, playoffs, and all-star games, which will be broadcasted on ESPN3 and Watch ESPN app. So we also have a Proud to Serve concert series featuring today's hottest artists, which will be featured during halftime of all 40 ESPN3 games. We have a brand new 24-hour ABA online TV network powered by OPM Digital Network. And there's a new deal with Netflix to stream ABA games that he's working on. Sponsorships. So at this point, the ABA is more recognizable than it has ever been before. Currently, we're seeking league-wide sponsorships with some of the following locations: Pepsi, Coca-Cola, cofounder.com, Ford, McDonald's, Sprite, just to name a few. There are some various ways that we're currently seeking sponsorships or product placement, which is include, but we do not limit to these items. Referee uniforms. So that means basically having the sponsor logo on the back of the referee uniforms. That's an option. ESPN3 halftime shows, pre and post game shows, basically drop-ins and small commercials in between the games that are fed. ABA finals, ABA All-Star games, ABA dunk contest, three-point contest, All-Star game MVP, and finals MVP. So those are just some of the ways that they're seeking sponsorship or product placement. We are currently seeking an underwriter sponsor for the ABA channel for a 3-year term agreement. And from that, we will have opportunities for website sponsors, which is going to be posted on the league website and each team's website. Banner sponsors, which the banner will be hung at half court at every game league-wide for the season. And then the ABA Media and Entertainment presenting the Proud to Serve America Tour. So the Proud to Serve America Tour, this is basically, this year we will implement Proud to Serve Concert Tour Series into all of the televised games. This will include some pre- and post-game performers, halftime show performers, national anthem singers. The league will have 4 regional hosts who will conduct game interviews during the games by talking to the coaches, players, courtside, and on the bench, fans, and dance team members. They'll also have split screens, which will be implemented to not take anything away from the actual game, and showcases the best performer to win a spot on the ABA broadcast. So these are just some of the artists that Twan sent that will be a part of the Proud to Serve America Tour. 2 Chainz, Jim Jones, and if I don't pronounce them, sorry. Jules Santana, Freaky Zeke, J.R. Ryder, Cashflow, Ricochet, Fat Joe's, Richie Ways, Shy, High Five, Shannon McCormick, DJ, Spinatic, Troy Avenue, Twan himself, Plies, and Project Pat. Also, the ABA Media and Entertainment Division, they have a partnership with a graphic design partner, which is, their email address is www.gfxrs.com. These are some of the services that they're providing to the ABA if you need them. It's also going to be on a handout that me and my sister pass out when we talk about website and uniforms. But they allow you to do the following for $15, which is team logo design, flyer design, business card design, merchandise design, which include hats, buttons, keychains, etc. So that's kind of beneficial to some of for the new teams that are just coming out, and even for some of the old teams that don't have these items. Merchandising. The ABA is in the process of launching a full line of ABA merchandising to include hats, shirts, towels, umbrellas, that type of thing. Currently, the ABA teams, they can order their official ABA game umbrella for just $7 a piece. They typically retail for $20, and that's going to be found on the website, which I'll give you that information in just a minute. Mobile gaming. So this is the first year that the ABA has jumped into the mobile gaming environment. This will increase the visibility of the league on a national level. So the first mobile game has just been released, and it's called ABA Logo Quiz on the Google Play Store by Aruka Flyboy Games. If you look at the picture over there, that's what it looks like when you actually see it. I haven't played it, but I have downloaded it. This app currently right now is free. This particular app is going to be free, but they're also coming out with a new one called the 5-on-5 Simulation Game, which has full ABA rules and teams, and it's called ABA Game Time. For after November 2nd, it's gonna be $2.99. But it will be free to those that attend the opening game. I'm not sure how he's gonna do that yet, but somehow he's gonna give everybody a code, and for a certain period of time, the download for this will be free for their fans to download. After a certain point, that code will no longer be available, and then they'll have to go pay the $2.99. So it's a way to give a free item away at your games. Not sure how he's gonna do that, or if you're gonna be responsible for making your own little sheet with the code on it or whatever, but that is gonna be available. Mixers. Events in your areas that help your team raise money and allow the community the opportunity to meet your staff, players, etc. You can utilize this event to help improve your brand and mingle with potential sponsors, business leaders. I know me and my sister are planning a mixer, and we're basically using it as a way to get our team out there and for some of the people in the community to be able to come out and meet some of the players and mingle with the players. This is also an opportunity for you to raise money. We're going to be serving alcohol at ours. That tends to be a big thing in Memphis. So anybody enjoys a good party. So this is an opportunity to party with your community, with your players. Okay, so if you have any questions about mixers, contact Twan for additional information. The good thing about the mixers is they are relatively cheap, and you do come out with, you should come out with a decent amount of money if you do it properly. Okay. Upcoming events. There's a tour date set up in McKeesport, Pennsylvania on August 8th, 2015, and these are some of the flyers that Twan has. One is for the MYOL Showcase, and one is for the Proud to Serve concert series. Media and entertainment website. This is the website address, www.morethanjustagame.org. If you go on the website, it has a lot of features, and this is basically what Twan's division is doing. From the looks of it, it does look like some of the items are connected to the ABA website, such as the ABA store and so forth. So make sure that you write this down and that you go out and check out the site. This is also a location where you can order those umbrellas. If you were interested in the umbrella, the ABA umbrellas to sell at your venues for $7, okay? And I don't think the live performer is here, but we were supposed to have Mob Boss. So, any questions? Yes?
The 299 one-time field, right?
What?
The $2.99 a one-time.
Oh, the $2.99 is a one-time fee. Any other questions? Well, if you think of something, Twan Jermaine. I'm gonna step in.
So you can see we have a lot of things going, but what I think is probably most intriguing is that we've set this up with Twan so that this is a revenue sharing with the teams platform. And so depending on the downloads, because even though they're free downloads, every time somebody does download it and go to it, it generates revenue, and we're going to use that revenue to share with the ABA teams. And that's why it's in your best interest to promote it at your venues and promote it on your website, because for years I've wanted to have a way to generate revenue that could pass from the league back down to the teams. And with the new mobile technology, and I might mention to you, Sports Radio America, they are picking up the tab for the production, and we have a revenue sharing program with them on sponsorships, and if they are able to achieve their goals, that is also going to be a revenue sharing that will come from the league down to the teams to help to offset some of the expenses. And so I made up my mind in my re-entry back into the ABA to see if I can figure out a way to start generating at the league level revenue for the teams themselves. And so if all of these programs, the concerts that we're going to be doing, the the parties we're gonna be doing, the various platforms we're gonna do, we'll start putting that money in a pool and distributing it amongst the teams. In 2000, when Dick Tinkham and I co-founded the ABA, I really had no intention of having a basketball team of my own, but our agreement with the NBA called for a minimum of 18, so a week before the season started, one of the teams dropped out, leaving 7. So I said I would do a team for 2 years, which I did, until we had the minimum number required in the ABA. So I started a team a week before the season started, which doesn't give you a great deal of time. And it was one of the most successful teams in the ABA in terms of revenue and attendance. And it was in no small part because we were able to secure within that week a major sponsor, Jet Credit Union, which bought a $75,000 sponsorship on virtually the first day we were in business. The CEO of Jet Credit Union was Beverly Jenkins. Beverly is here with us today, who you heard earlier, and now she runs a terrific company for small business management. And she is truly an ABA fan, having listened to the original ABA when she was a child. She knows a tremendous amount about the league, has been a good friend for all these 15 years, and overall team operations. That first year in the ABA, starting a week before the season started, we generated $650,000 in sales, ticket sales and sponsorships, and we averaged 1,500 to 3,500 people at a game starting a week before the season, using the ABA initiatives and the ABA keys to success, which I'll talk about later. But I wanted Beverly to come here today because we have some new teams, and I wanted her to talk a little bit about good business management, QuickBooks, and the other things that you might be able to do. And her company, Reliant Group, is open and is working now with ABA teams. And if you need order out of chaos and direction, then I think Beverly is a person that might be able to help you. So Bev, if you come up and take a few minutes, I'd appreciate it.
I'm not nearly as exciting and adventurous as sports radio or any of that, but one thing in common with every business organization or team is that they need a good business plan. I was CEO of Jet Credit Union for 26 years, and then we merged with a large credit union, and I decided to go ahead and leave and go out in business on my own and help small businesses and organizations start their own. And I currently work with the ABA League. I've known Joe and Susie for several years now. And I also have companies ranging from software companies down to construction companies and digital marketing. And I just really have a heart to help people reach their goals and objectives in the business world. And I know you as sports owners would not dream of going on the court without having a game plan for that particular match. And I know that part of those game plans are scouting. You keep stats, you keep the shot chart, you do player evaluations, practice planners, and a game summary after every game to know what your goals were and whether you met those or not. Well, the same thing holds true with a business plan. And I will be able to email this information to Joe later, and then he can disseminate it out to the rest of the organizations. But in order for a company to know where they're going, they have to have a plan, and that plan needs to be sent out to their management and staff, as well as potential investors or lenders. A lot of teams, are seeking investment funds or partnerships, and if you don't have everything in a concise manner that you would be able to quickly explain your organization in 5 minutes to somebody, then they're going to think, twice about helping you out in that situation. Some components of a business plan include your mission statement and/or your vision, so that you can articulate what you're really trying to create. It includes a description of your company and your products or your services, how your products or your game is different from the competition, what sets you apart. You also need to have in a business plan a description of your management team, including how they got involved, what their experience is, and not only just the ownership, but also the key team members and some of their previous successes. That way, it gives people that may be interested in working with your team a little bit of comfort level that you aren't just in it for the money. You have experience in one form or the other to create a successful team and a company. I tried to do this as a little bit about the game plan and how it reflects in basketball. And on the scouting level, you're going out and scouting new players or scouting the competition to see, what they are doing compared to what your team's doing. But in our business plan model, that scouting would include a market analysis that discusses the market you're trying to enter, who your competitors are, where you fit into all of that, and then what type of market share you believe you can serve. Joe mentioned maybe the underserved community, people without a lot of money to buy the NBA price tickets. That's who your market really is. And you need to know where those people are in your community. And I really think dividing the league up this year into two conferences, the blue and the red, really makes a lot of sense, because there are teams that I've heard have $500,000 a year budgets, and then we have some teams in the league that may have, less than a $50,000 budget for the season. So that's something that you as an organization really need to know up front, because, yeah, it would be great if they could all play 30 games, but realistically, is that going to be what you can achieve? And without a game plan or a business plan in place, those are things that you're going to not really know or follow through on. Player evaluations, it's the same way with the business plan. Analysis of your company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, which will show that you're realistic and have considered opportunities and challenges. Money is a big challenge. Sponsorships, those types of things that don't come easily. You have to have a plan in place in order to fulfill those goals. The practice planner. I know you guys have practice plans where they're going to run sprints at one time and then shoot free throws and all of that. Well, the same holds true. How you plan to market the products or your services in your team. How many interns are you going to use on a daily basis to call to get sponsorships or to set up meetings to do community presentations? Those types of things, and it needs to be on a calendar. And that way you can track the success of your people and to be able to follow up on the ones that are falling a little bit short, or step in and try to help them reach those goals. But without a plan in place, you really can't judge how successful you've been in that respect. The stats include money. You really need to develop a cash flow statement as part of your business plan so that you understand what your needs are and how for the now and for the future. If you don't know how much your venue is going to cost or how you're going to be able to pay for it, those are the numbers that you have to put in place to do a cash flow analysis. How much sponsorship money do you need in for each game? How many tickets do you need to sell for each game in order to pay for the referees and the venue and the refreshments that you're going to sell at game day? How much profit are you going to make on merchandise? How much profit are you going to make on refreshments? Those types of things you really need to think about before you have your first game in order to see how much of a budget that you need for that season. And then also, stats include revenue projections. If you're looking for a potential investor or a loan, a small business loan, you need to be able to have on, a 1 to 2, 3 year financial projections in a spreadsheet format that a potential lender or investor can see when they're gonna get a return on their investment, or how you can pay back a loan in a timely fashion. When is your company or your team going to break even? When are you gonna have a positive cash flow? Those are all part of the stats that you need to think about as owners in advance of taking on a big project or a season this way. And then you've got a game summary, which you're talking about having live updates on the internet and the websites. Well, the game summary includes your executive summary that wraps everything up in your business plan. And that includes how you're going to implement all the parts of your business plan. And sometimes that's at the end of a business plan, or sometimes it's called the executive summary, and it's like the first page that a potential investor or lender can look at to give like a snapshot of your overall business plan. And in creating, I know a lot of you already have business plans, a lot of you are successful business owners, so you know what I'm talking about, but we have a few new ones in place this year that if you can think of it as answering the 5 W's and an H, the who, what, when, where, why, and how you're gonna do it. And the who on a business plan is more or less who the team is, where they're located, the ownership, who your target market is, who your competition on and off the court are, and who are the alliances that you're going to try to partner with, such as community organizations, churches, charities. We have some nonprofits that people are aligned with. And so those are things that you need to really think about when you're creating a business plan. And then the what is, what are your goals and objectives? How much money do you want to make at the end of the year? How much pay do you need to pay your team players and your staff? What ranking do you want to be in the league? Do you want to be in the playoffs this first season? I mean, what are your goals and objectives? And then what sets you apart from your competition? And the competition might not just be the other team that you're going to play tonight. It could be competition in the market area to get your tickets sold, and other sports teams. I mean, what is the competition in your area that takes away from your potential fans buying a ticket and coming to your game versus going to the Pacers game tonight? So those are things that you need to think about. When are you going to implement all the marketing strategies that Joe sends out on his marketing memos every week or every day? All those ideas are great, but when are you going to start implementing it? You can't wait until the first or the week before the season starts to start thinking about those things. Right now is when you should be thinking about getting those interns hired, the staff in place, the games, and when are you going to reach a positive cash flow? Just like I mentioned on the financial projections. In your mind, you have to start thinking about, when do I think I'm going to have a positive cash flow? When do I need to have a positive cash flow? How long can my money from my friends and family last before I have to start thinking about something else? And then where to reach your target market? Is it going to be TV, radio, internet, social media, or is it going to be with community outreach programs? Joe's talked a lot about in the memos about going to Rotary Club and the Kiwanis and organizations like that, and do community presentations. Those are all good ways to reach a broader base on getting more fans in. And then why? Why do you want to be an ABA team? Why do you want to provide a fan-friendly alternative and be a profitable company? Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to be an owner? Those are all things that you really need to think about when you're creating that business plan. And then the how is, how are you going to generate revenues through your fan base, ticket sales, merchandise, and sponsorships? You know, there's different ways your team can do the Fast Break Club and sell those in advance. You can sell tickets on game day. You can actually give tickets away, buy one, get one. You know, those are areas that you need to address. And then when you use a business plan as a tool to help you outline action items, next steps, and future activities, you're creating a living, breathing document that not only outlines where you are and where you want to be, but also gives you the directions you need to get there. A business plan helps eliminate the gray area. Joe mentioned earlier about the code of conduct and the standards and requirements. Those should be part of your business plan that says, yes, we're going to follow these at the league, you know, that the league provides to us. In order for everybody on your management team and your players to realize what those are, they really should be reading those, signing off on those, maybe as part of your employee handbook. That aspect needs to be included in your business plan. And then a business plan also allows you to test ideas and take steps to make your business stronger and more viable. If you see something in your business plan that you wrote, you know, 6 months ago isn't working right or isn't right for your team, then you tweak it a little bit. You don't just write it one time and put it on the shelf and expect, you know, that to be the end. It's a flexible, growing, and dynamic tool that can help you think creatively and come up with the new solutions for some of your toughest business challenges. And I've seen a lot of companies, you know, from retail to sports teams that, you know, could have benefited from a business plan that didn't really think they needed it as long as they had a good team, you know, together. And, you know, it might be the best team in the league in scoring, but if you don't have those components on the backside, the business side of basketball, then you're really going to struggle. And I am here to help if you need help in creating any of these things with the financial projections. We could do QuickBooks online if you don't have accounting set up. Signed a team in West Virginia this week to help them create their business plan. So I'm always available. I've got a few cards with me and a few flyers, so if anybody's interested after or during the break, I'll be here. And I just really appreciate Joe and what he does for our community and the communities across the country. I appreciate you guys.
Does anybody have any questions about this? Look at this little small person with all of this knowledge. What a great thing.
Question?
Yes.
I just got a question. Do you also do financial planning for athletes?
I'm not a licensed financial planner, but I could help and get in touch with someone that does.
Okay.
As I say, I've known Beverly now 15 years, and she was an important person with the original ABA and with the Indiana Legends when it started, and so she knows what she's talking about. You know, a lot of you have this great background in business experience, and so, you know, you already have a feel for what it takes to organize and to construct a good business. She did not mention that her rates and her fees are absolutely fabulous. It is not an expense, it's an investment in building a business. So feel free to contact Beverly if you need some help. And it is not unusual to have a person like Beverly, not in your city, but somebody that has a wide view of the ABA, and it's obvious that she does have a good understanding of the ABA. So thanks, Bev, for coming here today.
You're welcome.
I noticed a couple of you. What I'd like to do, because it's just about 10 o'clock now, is many of you might have to use the restroom or just want to come up for air, go get a soft drink or coffee or something. So let's take a 10-minute break. Then I'm going to accelerate it a little bit before lunch so we can talk about Arbiter schedules, ABA officials, and stats, which I consider to be critical mass, particularly for the new team. So if you want to take a 10-minute break, 5 after until 10:15, then we'll be back. Thank you all.